Hey guys, welcome to another NetFindz product review, sharing my experience with products I've tried so you're well informed before you buy. Full disclosure, the items I review are sent to me at no cost as review samples. There are also going to be affiliate links down in the description where you can purchase these if you want to, and if you do, the channel will receive some support from your purchase, so please check those out if you want to pick this one up. That aside, guys, I'm always going to give you my full and unbiased opinion on all items I review. If it sucks, I'm going to let you know. If it's amazing, I'm going to let you know that as well. So let's hop into it, guys. Today we're taking a look at the Seaoura K1 Fluid Bed Filter. This is listed on Amazon currently as the K1 Fluid Bed Filter Multiple Function Silent Biochemical Sponge Filter 3-in-1 Submersible Internal Fish Tank Filter with Water Pump for 10 to 30 gallons aquarium. So this item right now is $21.88, which I feel is a great price for it. Guys, I'm really excited to show you this filter because it's not often that I get one of these review items that I really like, but this is one of them. Let me show you this thing. So inside the box we have the filter itself, the little water outlet tube attachment, and the power adapter. We've got some filter media, a piece of air line, and some thick beefy suction cups that I'm very pleased to see, as well as your instructions, which are gladly pretty straightforward and in good English. Setup for this guy is actually pretty simple, but you do need to pay attention a bit because there are a few parts which have small details you should be aware of, such as the cavity where the pump sits has an indent for its power cord on one side. Same thing with the tube/chamber covers. One of those has an indent for that power cord and the other one does not, so they're not interchangeable. The lid on top of the sponges just pops off with a bit of pulling force, and under there you have a chamber for this so-called special K1 filter media, which is basically just like bits of a plastic tube that they designed to have a high amount of surface area on it. You can tell by looking at it, it's got lots of little fins, lots of surface area for bacteria to grow on. Down below the sponges are two different chambers for ceramic ball filter media, but you could also add in other things. Like personally, I like crushed coral, which is one of the reasons I love filters like this. I love to have a dedicated place to put a little bit of crushed coral to help keep my pH right in my tank. So contents and unboxing aside, guys, let me tell you why I think this is an awesome product. What we have here is basically a very compact, well-designed, and well-made little filter that gives you everything good about a suction cup to the side of your tank sponge filter, like the Aquaneats or Higger or Carefree Fish style, which are also available on Amazon, and I've linked some of those in the description below. Those are great too. But this one gives you what they give you while also giving you extra surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow, and extra power via an electric pump, which most of those other ones don't have. And the typical sponge filter that you're going to find at like your local pet store probably also is not going to have an electric pump, and typically those are also going to take up a bunch of extra space on your fish tank floor, so they are even a downgrade from the no pump version that are going to be able to suction cup to the back of your tank wall. Now you might be thinking, well, the reason most people opt for those other filters is because they don't have an electric pump, and you'd be totally right. So why don't you want an electric pump on your sponge filter? Well, there's really just one reason that I'm aware of, and that is typically that the electric pump runs the risk of sucking up your baby fish or your baby shrimplets and killing them before they ever have a chance to grow. Now this is where this little filter, again, super impresses me. This electric pump just has one tiny little like 1/8 inch or so circular inlet down at the bottom that allows access for water to flow into the pump itself. So that's the only spot where your baby fish could get sucked up. So if you just take a little bit of filter floss or a little piece of sponge and stuff that in there, that is a simple solution that is going to make this filter be Totally safe for even the tiniest of like little baby fish or shrimp or whatever you've got that you're trying to breed, and it's still going to give you a lot of the benefits of a powered filter while also giving you, the safety of a regular sponge filter, and the the design and aesthetics and increased floor space in your tank from the ones that get suction cupped to the back glass. So in my mind, this is like a perfect solution for any tank where you want to have the option to breed your tank inhabitants without risking loss of life for the babies. Another benefit that this filter has over most other sponge filters is that it's got what I think is a better design for aeration, for being able to add some air, some oxygen and carbon dioxide and all that, whatever's in your air, to your tank. And the way that it's better, in my opinion, than other sponge filters is, so unlike the sponge filter that sits on the floor of your tank, those ones have a little glass tube that is necessary for them to function because it creates an updraft, and that's what helps pull the water through the sponge in those particular filters' case. Well, this one doesn't have that little tube, so instead it's got a tube that sits below the surface of the water and directly shoots bubbles out into the water so they can disperse easier. And a lot of those ones where the filter has a little tube, by the time the air bubbles get out of the little tube, they're so close to the surface of the tank, to like the top of your water level, that air is basically just going right up to the surface, and it's going into the air anyway, and it's not giving you much of a benefit in terms of aerating your tank water, getting extra oxygen in there. So this one I far prefer. It's got the little outlet that is kind of reminiscent to like a lily pipe outlet, and it's gonna disperse air bubbles a lot better throughout your tank than either style, the floor sitting style or the style that typically mounts to your tank wall via suction cups, where it has the little telescopic pipe that sits above the surface of the water. So the reason I don't like that one is, with the little pipe above the surface of the water where it's going to just pour water down, you're getting some aeration, but most of the air bubbles that would be getting dispersed right into your tank water most of that air is just going right back into the air. And the only benefit you're really gaining there is surface movement on the water when that water pours back down into your tank. And that's good, and it does provide some aeration, but not nearly as much as having this little outlet that's going to directly blow out air bubbles and disperse them throughout your tank. So this is much better in my mind. And depending on how you position it, you can also get a bit of surface movement with this one as well. So who do I think this filter is for? Well, I would say anyone running a 5-gallon to like a 15-gallon who wants to breed tiny critters and will take the time to put some filter floss or sponge into that little inlet, who wants something that will help keep their water filtered better than an air-only powered sponge filter, who doesn't want the old style that sits on the floor and looks like an eyesore. And I could totally see adding this also as like an auxiliary filter to a larger tank. But guys, overall, yeah, this is an excellent item, and you can make it a great filter for a breeder tank, and it's basically very similar priced to the other filters of this style, which lack the electric pump. So I think that in the $20 to $25 price point, it's really difficult to beat this one. It's miles ahead of the floor, the one that you're just going to put on the floor of your tank that you get at your local pet store. It's going to take up a bunch of space and look terrible and not really provide much filtration or aeration, and have no extra space for different filter medias and so forth. So Yeah, definitely take a look at this one. Great item, great price. So that is going to wrap up this video, guys. If you appreciated the content, feel free to leave me a like, write a comment, or subscribe to my channel. All of that is definitely appreciated. And remember, if you want to pick this one up, definitely consider using the link down in the description below, as that will be a great way to help support us as well. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and this has been another NetFindz product review.